The sun hung low in the sky, casting elongated shadows over the winding road that led to Blackwood Camp. The air held a peculiar chill, sending shivers down the spines of the group of friends as they stepped out of their weathered station wagon. Sarah, with her wild curls and an air of skepticism, scanned the campgrounds with narrowed eyes. Mark, the adventurous soul with a perpetual glint in his eye, let out a low whistle of appreciation. Emily, the sensitive one with a penchant for the macabre, clutched her sketchbook closer to her chest. And then there was Jason, the joker of the group, whose laughter echoed through the stillness of the forest. Blackwood Camp, nestled deep within the heart of the ancient woods, seemed like a secret whispered between trees. Towering pines stood as silent sentinels, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers, seemingly beckoning the curious souls who dared to venture into their realm. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating an eerie symphony that danced along the edges of their consciousness. As they settled into their campsite, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. The crackling fire leapt and danced, casting flickering shadows upon their faces. Sarah, the self-proclaimed rational one, scoffed at the stories she had heard about Blackwood Camp. Legends of unexplained disappearances, haunting whispers that carried on the wind, and dark rituals performed under moonlit skies. She dismissed them as mere campfire tales, weaving fantasies to spook the unwary. But there was something different about this place, something that crawled beneath their skin like an army of tiny spiders. The forest seemed to watch with countless eyes, a silent audience observing their every move. Sarah's confidence wavered as the night crept closer, its tendrils of darkness reaching out to envelop the campsite. Dusk arrived, painting the sky in hues of deep purple and fiery orange. The friends huddled closer together, seeking comfort in their shared presence. Yet, despite the warmth of the fire, an icy finger traced its way down their spines. Shadows lengthened, twisting and contorting like specters of the night. From the depths of the forest, strange sounds emerged, a mournful cry carried by the wind, a distant rustling of unseen creatures, and whispers that echoed in their ears, indistinguishable yet undeniably present. Each noise struck at their nerves, eroding their confidence, and fueling a growing sense of unease. Sarah's skepticism began to falter as uneasiness gnawed at her core. She stole glances into the surrounding darkness, half expecting to catch sight of ethereal figures lurking just beyond her line of sight. Mark's adventurous spirit wilted under the weight of an unseen gaze, causing his once confident demeanor to crumble. Emily, always attuned to the hidden layers of the world, sensed the palpable tension and clutched her sketchbook tighter. Her fingers traced the pages, recreating the unease in twisted lines and haunting images. Jason, the joker, fell uncharacteristically silent, his usual banter stifled by an invisible hand squeezing his throat. Together, they sat in the flickering firelight, their laughter swallowed by the encroaching night. The atmosphere grew heavy, as if the very air held its breath, waiting for something unspeakable to unveil itself. Blackwood Camp, once thought to be a haven of tranquility, revealed its true nature, a realm teeming with secrets and lurking horrors. As the group settled into their tents for the night, their dreams were haunted by whispers that promised a tale more sinister than they could have ever imagined. Little did they know, the true nightmare of Blackwood Camp had only just begun. Morning broke, casting a pale light over the campsite, as the group of friends emerged from their restless slumber. The night had been filled with fitful dreams, visions of faces obscured by shadows, disembodied whispers that slithered through their minds, and a pervasive sense of being watched by unseen eyes. Shaken but determined, Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Jason gathered around the remnants of the campfire, their faces etched with weariness and curiosity. They exchanged wary glances, silently acknowledging the unsettling events of the previous night. It was clear that something was amiss in Blackwood Camp, and they could no longer dismiss it as mere superstition. Driven by a blend of fascination and trepidation, the group set out to explore the campgrounds, their footsteps echoing through the dense undergrowth. The path led them deeper into the forest, away from the safety of their campsite. It was then, amidst a tangle of trees, that they stumbled upon an abandoned cabin, a relic from a forgotten era. The cabin stood weathered and worn, its wooden exterior splintered and peeling. Windows, long since shattered, stared back at them like vacant eyes. It seemed frozen in time, a desolate remnant of a bygone era. Intrigued and drawn by an irresistible force, they cautiously pushed open the creaking door and entered the forgotten sanctuary. Inside, the air was thick with dust, swirling in the filtered rays of sunlight that penetrated the dilapidated roof. The floorboards groaned beneath their weight as they ventured further into the dimly lit interior. Their eyes were immediately drawn to a weathered wooden desk, upon which lay a journal, its pages yellowed with age and its leather cover marred by time. Emily, her fingers trembling with anticipation, reached out and carefully opened the journal. The words within were penned in a scrawling script, a testament to the writer's troubled state of mind. The journal told a tale of despair and woe, of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena that plagued the camp. In chilling detail, the writer described whispers that echoed through the night, seemingly carried by the wind itself. They spoke of figures seen from the corner of the eye, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. The writer's sanity seemed to fray with each passing entry, as if the weight of the unexplainable had become too great to bear. Pages were filled with haunting sketches, distorted faces, contorted bodies, and a sense of otherworldly dread. The ink seemed to bleed with the writer's fear, capturing the essence of the supernatural forces that lurked within the shadows of Blackwood Camp. Sarah, who had clung stubbornly to her skepticism, felt a chill run down her spine. The words and images in the journal held a disturbing resonance with the events they had experienced. The creeping unease that had settled over them since their arrival now solidified into a tangible nightmare. As the group delved deeper into the journal's secrets, they uncovered references to a curse that befell Blackwood Camp, a curse born of a dark ritual performed by a cult that had once inhabited these very woods. It was said that the spirits of the past lingered, their restless souls seeking vengeance against the living. Doubt and disbelief crumbled beneath the weight of their findings, replaced by a shared understanding of the malevolent force that had gripped the camp. The friends exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of fear and determination. They knew they had to confront the darkness that loomed over Blackwood Camp, not only to save themselves but also to unravel the secrets that lay buried within its haunted grounds. With the discovered journal clutched tightly in Emily's hand, the group emerged from the dilapidated cabin, their resolve solidified by the eerie truths they had uncovered. The stage was set for a confrontation with the restless spirits and the curse that threatened to consume them all. The shadows of the forest seemed to deepen as they ventured back towards their campsite, a foreboding reminder that the horrors they had uncovered were just the beginning, a prelude to the malevolent forces that awaited their presence. As twilight descended upon Blackwood Camp, the atmosphere shifted, taking on an ominous quality that raised hairs on the napes of their necks. The friends gathered around the crackling campfire once more, seeking solace and courage in its wavering glow. Sarah, no longer the staunch skeptic, cast wary glances into the encroaching darkness, her eyes searching for any signs of the supernatural. The woods around them came alive with whispers, a haunting symphony that danced upon the air. The wind whispered secrets, carrying fragments of long-forgotten tales that curled around their ears. The group huddled closer together, finding strength in their shared vulnerability. Emily, her fingers trembling, glanced at the journal clutched in her hands. Its pages seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, echoing the heartbeat of the cursed camp. She traced her fingertips over the ink-stained words, the chilling sketches, and the desperate pleas for salvation. The weight of the past settled upon her shoulders, its burden unfathomable. As the night deepened, an oppressive silence blanketed the camp, broken only by the crackling of the fire. The surrounding woods grew still, as if holding their breath, waiting for the inevitable. And then it began, a cacophony of unsettling sounds that sent shivers down their spines. A rustle of leaves, the snap of twigs, and the distant echo of mournful howls pierced the night. The shadows, once mere figments of their imagination, writhed and shifted, their forms defying reason. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving the friends trapped in a world where the grotesque danced just beyond their vision. From the edge of their perception, they caught fleeting glimpses of movement, a flicker of pale faces, twisted figures lurking just out of reach. But when they turned to face the apparitions head-on, they vanished like smoke, leaving only a lingering sense of dread in their wake. Emily's hand tightened around the journal, her knuckles turning white. The entries she had read resonated with the unfolding events, as if the spirits from the past had found a voice through their experiences. Doubt no longer lingered within her heart, the supernatural had manifested before their very eyes, its intentions veiled and menacing. Sarah, once the voice of reason, felt her skepticism dissolve under the weight of the eerie occurrences. Fear seeped into every fiber of her being, her rationality crumbling in the face of the inexplicable. The journal's words echoed in her mind, a haunting reminder that they were mere pawns in a sinister game. Mark, usually brimming with bravado, cast furtive glances over his shoulder, his steps faltering as he surveyed the darkness. He had always been drawn to adventure, but the unknown horrors that lurked within Blackwood Camp threatened to swallow his courage whole. Jason, the Joker, his laughter silenced by the encroaching malevolence, clung to his friends, seeking refuge from the encroaching terror. His jokes had lost their edge, his easy grin replaced by a solemn expression etched with dread. The darkness had robbed him of his levity, replacing it with a primal instinct to survive. The first night wore on, an unending symphony of terror. They remained huddled around the dying fire, their gazes fixed on the shifting shadows, their hearts pounding in rhythm with the unearthly sounds that echoed through the woods. As dawn approached, its pale light breaking through the treetops, the friends felt a glimmer of relief. The night had tested their mettle, but they had survived. However, the knowledge that the horrors of Blackwood Camp were far from over settled upon them like a heavy shroud. With trembling limbs and wary eyes, they retreated to the sanctuary of their tents, seeking shelter from the horrors that prowled just beyond the fabric walls. Sleep eluded them, replaced by restless visions and the anticipation of what awaited them in the nights to come. The first night had become a testament to their vulnerability, a grim reminder that they were at the mercy of forces they could barely comprehend. But they knew they had no choice. They had to face the terrors head-on if they were to have any hope of escaping the clutches of Blackwood Camp. Dawn's feeble light trickled through the thick canopy, casting dappled shadows upon the forest floor. The night had been filled with restless slumber, their dreams tainted by the lingering horrors that stalked Blackwood Camp. Fatigue etched deep lines on their faces, but their determination to unravel the curse burned brighter than ever. The morning air felt heavy with a sense of foreboding as the group gathered, their eyes haunted and their steps laden with trepidation. Mark's absence loomed like a specter, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. With a mix of worry and determination, they embarked on a desperate search through the depths of the forest, calling out his name in a chorus of apprehension. Their voices echoed through the ancient trees, the sound swallowed by the suffocating silence. As they ventured deeper, the woods grew denser, ensnaring their senses in a suffocating embrace. Sarah's once confident stride faltered, her gaze darting anxiously between the tree trunks, as if expecting something sinister to spring from the undergrowth. A sudden break in the foliage revealed an unexpected sight, the entrance to an overgrown graveyard, its tombstones crumbling and obscured by a thick blanket of moss. The air grew still, and the friends exchanged uneasy glances, feeling the weight of forgotten souls hanging in the stagnant atmosphere. Fear clenched their hearts as they stepped into the eerie sanctuary of the dead. Names etched into weathered stone whispered tales of lives long past, each letter a reminder of mortality and the inevitability of the grave. It was as if the spirits themselves beckoned them deeper into the twisted heart of Blackwood Camp. The group's collective breath hitched as they noticed a freshly disturbed patch of earth amidst the desolation. A silent agreement passed between them, and they began to dig with a mix of trepidation and desperate hope. The earth yielded reluctantly, as if reluctant to surrender its secrets. As the hole grew deeper, Sarah's trembling hands brushed against something solid, a crude wooden marker, its surface worn and weathered. Fear mingled with anticipation as they pried it from the earth, revealing a faded photograph of Mark, his smiling face now a haunting reminder of his absence. Time seemed to slow as the realization sank in. The spirits of Blackwood Camp had claimed their friend, spiriting him away into the abyss of the unknown. Desperation fueled their determination to rescue him, to unravel the tangled web of curses and vengeance that gripped the cursed land. Armed with newfound resolve, they returned to the abandoned cabin, the journal clutched tightly in Emily's hands. Its fragile pages provided a glimpse into the dark rituals that had brought this curse upon Blackwood Camp, hinting at the malevolent force that now held Mark captive. They knew they had to confront the spirits head-on, to break the chains that bound their friend to the realm of the restless dead. Night fell once more, casting an inky blanket over the campgrounds. With trembling hands, they prepared a makeshift altar within the cabin, adorned with symbols and trinkets gleaned from the journal's forbidden knowledge. Their hearts hammered in their chests as they delved into the ancient incantations, their voices woven with a blend of fear and desperate determination. A storm brewed outside, its fury echoing the turmoil within their souls. Rain pounded against the windows, as if nature itself mirrored their struggle against the malevolence that consumed Blackwood Camp. Shadows danced on the walls, their grotesque shapes twisting and writhing with malicious intent. In the midst of their sacred ceremony, the veil between the living and the dead trembled, a gateway cracked open by their desperate plea for salvation. The spirits, restless and vengeful, surged forward, their spectral forms hovering at the edges of their perception. The friends' hearts pounded in their chests as they locked eyes with the ethereal apparitions, feeling the weight of their gaze. The spirits, once twisted and tormented, now seemed to recognize the shared pain, the collective will to break free from the cycle of despair. And then, as if in response to their fervent pleas, the storm outside abated, the howling winds giving way to an eerie calm. The spirits retreated into the depths of the forest, their anger appeased, their purpose fulfilled. It was as if the curse itself had been severed, its malevolent hold broken. Breathing a collective sigh of relief, the friends gazed at one another, their eyes reflecting the shared trauma of their encounter. Mark, dazed but unharmed, stood among them, his presence a testament to their bravery and the strength they had found within themselves. But the weight of the past lingered, a constant reminder that the horrors they had faced would forever be etched into their memories. As they gathered their belongings, ready to leave Blackwood Camp behind, a sense of unease settled over them like a ghostly hand brushing against their souls. The shadows of the cursed land would forever follow them, a reminder that some terrors can never truly be banished. Blackwood Camp stood shrouded in an eerie silence as the group prepared to leave, their steps heavy with both relief and trepidation. The curse had been broken, and Mark had been returned to them, but the memories of their harrowing ordeal would forever haunt their waking hours and slumbering dreams. As they packed their belongings, a deep sense of unease settled over them like a thick fog. They knew that while they had managed to appease the vengeful spirits for now, the malevolent force that had gripped Blackwood Camp still lingered, its presence echoing in their souls like a foreboding whisper. Emily, her eyes weary but determined, clutched the journal to her chest. Its fragile pages had been a source of revelation and terror, revealing the origins of the curse that had ensnared them all. The dark rituals, the blood-soaked ground, and the desperation of the cult that had summoned the spirits. It was a story of twisted faith and unspeakable evil. Driven by a shared understanding, the friends embarked on a quest for knowledge, seeking answers to the lingering questions that plagued their minds. They delved deeper into the journal's secrets, scouring its pages for any clue that could help them sever the remaining ties to the cursed land. The journal hinted at a talisman hidden within the heart of Blackwood Camp, a relic that held the key to banishing the malevolent force once and for all. It spoke of a hidden grove, concealed by ancient trees and protected by the very spirits that had tormented them. The friends knew that if they were to confront the darkness that had plagued their lives, they had to face this final trial. With a mix of trepidation and determination, they ventured back into the woods, their eyes scanning the dense foliage for any sign of the hidden grove. Every rustle of leaves, every crack of branches, sent a jolt of adrenaline through their veins, their senses heightened to the unseen dangers that lurked in the shadows. Hours turned into a blur as they pressed deeper into the heart of Blackwood Camp, their steps guided by an instinct they could not explain. And then, as if the forest itself had granted them passage, they stumbled upon a hidden clearing, a sacred sanctuary untouched by time. The grove unfolded before them like a surreal painting, an ethereal tableau of twisted branches, gnarled roots, and ancient stones. The air crackled with a potent energy, as if the very essence of the cursed land had coalesced within this sacred space. At the center of the grove stood a weathered altar, adorned with long-forgotten symbols etched into the stone. Their gazes fixed upon it, a mix of awe and fear washing over them. It was there, in that hallowed place, that the talisman awaited, the key to their salvation or their damnation. Driven by an unspoken pact, they approached the altar, their hands trembling with a potent blend of hope and dread. As they reached out to touch the ancient relic, a surge of power coursed through their bodies, as if the spirits of Blackwood Camp converged upon them. Visions assaulted their senses, flashes of the past, voices whispering secrets, and the agonized cries of those who had fallen victim to the curse. It was a symphony of suffering and despair, an onslaught of emotions that threatened to consume them. But within the chaos, they glimpsed a glimmer of understanding, a thread of redemption that wove through the darkness. Their hands intertwined, they channeled their collective strength, their unity a beacon of light against the encroaching shadows. With a final surge of energy, they unleashed the talisman's power, a surge of otherworldly force that reverberated through the grove. The ground trembled, and the ancient trees swayed as if in acknowledgement of their triumph. The malevolent force that had plagued Blackwood Camp recoiled, its grip on the land loosening. As the echoes of their victory subsided, the grove returned to stillness, the once tortured spirits finding solace in release. The curse had been shattered, and the friends stood on the precipice of freedom, forever marked by the horrors they had faced. They retreated from the grove, their steps lighter, their burdens lifted. The forest seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, the oppressive weight of the curse dissipating into the ether. They emerged from Blackwood Camp forever changed, forever bonded by their shared ordeal. But as they left the cursed land behind, they knew that while the malevolent force had been banished, the scars it had left upon their souls would forever remain. The horrors of Blackwood Camp would forever echo in their dreams, a chilling reminder that some battles can only be won at great cost. Yet, they carried with them a newfound strength, the knowledge that they had faced the darkest corners of existence and emerged victorious. They walked away from Blackwood Camp, forever bound by the ties of shared survival, ready to face whatever darkness awaited them in the world beyond. The friends, scarred but emboldened by their triumph over the malevolent force that plagued Blackwood Camp, gathered once more at the remnants of their campsite. The air crackled with an undercurrent of anticipation, their eyes meeting in a shared understanding of the task that lay before them. They had one final stand to make, a confrontation with the darkness that had tested their very souls. Within the charred remains of the cabin, they prepared for the ultimate battle against the lingering horrors. Symbols were etched onto the walls, candles flickered in a somber dance, and incantations from the journal echoed in the hushed space. The weight of their shared experiences settled upon them, intertwining with the echoes of the past. As the final preparations came to fruition, a storm brewed outside, its thunderous roars heralding their fateful encounter. The skies opened up, unleashing torrents of rain that pelted against the dilapidated roof, as if the very elements conspired to amplify the tension that hung in the air. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they stood in a circle, hands clasped tightly, their collective resolve a tangible force. Their voices rose, carrying a blend of fear and determination, their words woven with the echoes of those who had fallen victim to the curse. They called upon the spirits, their pleas imbued with a desperation that bordered on madness. The storm outside intensified, the winds howling through the broken windows like tortured souls. The very fabric of reality seemed to tremble, as if the boundary between the living and the dead grew thin. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting and contorting in macabre choreography. Their words reached a crescendo, a cacophony of raw emotion and primal need. They channeled the strength of their collective will, their voices raised against the forces that sought to bind them in eternal darkness. With each syllable, they challenged the malevolent force that had plagued Blackwood Camp, daring it to face them head-on. And then, as if in response to their fervent plea, a sudden silence descended upon the cabin. The storm outside abated, leaving behind an eerie calm that crackled with an electric energy. The air grew heavy, charged with anticipation. From the depths of the shadows, a figure emerged, a specter of darkness and despair, the embodiment of the curse that had tormented them. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, filled with malice and ancient wisdom. The friends locked eyes with the malevolent force, their resolve unwavering. A battle ensued, a clash between the living and the ethereal. The friends, armed with the knowledge they had gained, fought back with a tenacity born of desperation. They brandished symbols of protection, their movements fueled by a blend of fear and newfound courage. The walls trembled, their foundations shaken by the raw power unleashed within the cabin. The malevolent force fought with a ferocity that defied comprehension, its form shifting and warping with each blow. But the friends persisted, their unity and shared purpose a shield against the onslaught. As the struggle reached its climax, a blinding light erupted from the center of the cabin, a surge of pure energy that enveloped the malevolent force, trapping it in a swirling vortex of ethereal power. Its cries of anguish reverberated through the air, its grip on Blackwood Camp shattered. With one final surge of strength, the friends banished the malevolent force from their midst. The vortex dissipated, leaving behind only a lingering echo of the horrors that had plagued the cursed land. The cabin stood in silence, its walls bearing witness to the battle that had unfolded within. Exhausted but triumphant, the friends embraced, their bodies trembling with a mix of relief and catharsis. They had faced the darkness head-on and emerged victorious. Their bond, forged in the crucible of fear and survival, had withstood the test of the supernatural. With a collective breath, they stepped out of the cabin into the cleansed air of Blackwood Camp. The storm had abated, leaving behind a newfound serenity that whispered promises of a future free from the grip of the curse. Their hearts felt lighter, unburdened by the weight of the horrors they had faced. As they prepared to leave the cursed land behind, they cast a final gaze upon the desolate cabin, a testament to their resilience and the victory they had achieved. Blackwood Camp, once a realm of nightmares, now stood as a reminder of their shared strength and the darkness they had conquered. As they walked away from the cursed grounds, their steps lighter, they carried with them a newfound sense of liberation. The horrors of Blackwood Camp would forever remain etched in their memories, but they emerged from the ordeal forever changed, empowered by their resilience, bound by their shared survival, and ready to face whatever darkness awaited them in the world beyond. Epilogue, Lingering Shadows, 400 words. Years passed, and the friends gathered once more, drawn together by the shared memories of their haunting experience at Blackwood Camp. The scars of that fateful encounter had faded, but the echoes of the supernatural lingered in their dreams, a constant reminder of the terrors they had faced. They shared stories, their voices tinged with a blend of fascination and unease. The bond forged in the crucible of fear remained unbroken, their friendship having weathered the storm of Blackwood Camp. They cherished their survival, their journey through darkness illuminating the strength they carried within themselves. Yet, as they parted ways once more, a lingering sense of unease settled upon them, a reminder that some horrors can never truly be extinguished. The memories of Blackwood Camp would forever remain imprinted on their souls, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the resilience of the human spirit. As they ventured back into their respective lives, they carried with them the knowledge that the supernatural lurks in the shadows, waiting for those daring enough to explore its depths. They were forever marked by the haunting whispers, forever connected by the shared secret of Blackwood Camp, a reminder that some nightmares are destined to linger, forever weaving their darkness into the fabric of their lives. The story of Blackwood Camp had come to an end, but its legacy remained, a chilling tale to be whispered around campfires, a cautionary reminder that the line between the mundane and the supernatural is often blurred. And as the friends moved forward, forever marked by their harrowing experience, they knew that some horrors are meant to be shared, forever etched in the annals of their shared history. The haunting at Blackwood Camp would forever hold a place in their hearts, a reminder of their courage, their bonds, and the shadows that forever danced on the periphery of their lives.